Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
What is up, guys? Hunter Klein here, bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number 90. The bank of content continues to increase, and along with it, our pool of repeated discussions and overthought talks about the human experience, guys. That's what we're here for. You know what it is. IPM, welcome back. Now, first things first, I got on my PC this morning and I saw a news article that got me going, got me excited, and I'm sure a lot of you would relate to this feeling of joy. Now, again, we don't get very political on this podcast generally, but a news article like this, the impact that it may have, well, it's just exciting to look at. Joe Biden vows to fix student loan debt. Oh, I hope this works out. I hope this works out. Now, again, I'm not a political guru. I'm not a source for political information, and you know very well that I stay clear of anything political because, well, people exaggerate it. People blow it out of proportion. All of a sudden, now I'm like a left, medium, right-winger, liberal, like in every adjective in the book to describe me, and I don't even know what's going on. People are just putting me in a box. So generally, I stay away from this, but the fact that we are making public statements about getting rid of student loan debt, well, it would be life-changing. Kinda, not really. It's just a lot of money. It's essentially like giving me $10,000 or more, and that just sounds absolutely beautiful. I'm sure you guys are in the same boat, if not a more severe boat. Excuse me, dealing with more student loan debt. All I have to say is let's get it done quick. Now, I'm sure this is very complicated, and more often than not, these claims don't come to fruition, so it's probably not going to happen, but hey, it's about the excitement right now in this moment, the arrogance that I may have about the topic. All I have to say is let's do it quick, okay? As much as I would like, I would like to say, I don't care. As long as students of the future don't have to worry about these crazy loans and this crazy debt, I can't. I hope this happens quick so I can get in. I can get in on it, because it would be very unfortunate if at the day I pay off my student loan debt, everything's wiped, everything's cleaned. Now, I will say that some student loan companies are going out of business. Two major ones did recently as a result of, I believe, COVID putting restrictions or pauses or freezes on student loan payments to help out people who are struggling through this financial crisis. And that, I guess, is what triggered this article. I'm not too sure, but there's a lot of malicious intent behind some of these companies, guys. Let's just be completely honest. The collegiate loan, student loan system we have in America is absolute dog water. Let's be completely honest. A lot of us don't have a choice. And as a result, we're forced into this lifetime of debt. Hopefully not for most of us. We're forced into this lifetime of debt, and it can be a little bit crippling. So it would undoubtedly improve the quality of life for a majority of us if we could nip something like this in the bud. And it's about time, guys. These systems are primitive. They're old. They're monkey-like. Let's get out. Now, we're just going to go for it. We're going to go for it. We're getting into politics this week. Let's just put the nail in the coffin and talk about vaccines. Okay, now I have refrained from making an opinion on vaccines. You guys have probably been able to deduce my take on all of this. Now, I'm in Texas, right? Now, there's a very interesting perspective that holds in this area, and that being a lot of anti-vaxxers, a lot of people that don't wear masks, so on and so forth. Here's the deal, and here's my opinion. We've all been taking vaccines our entire life, okay? Not only have we all been taking vaccines our entire life, but the vaccine for COVID is free and very easily accessible for almost everyone in the United States. Now, there's skepticism out there, and this was fair at first. The skepticism was fair at first. We had a global pandemic, a vaccine that's not tested. Let's roll it out, whatever. There's a lack of testing, sure. Skepticism is fair at this moment. But we are getting to the point, guys, of ongoing research accumulating in the background, constant health professionals saying the benefits, and me and a lot of the public not seeing a great deal of negatives. Of course, there are some negatives here and there. Some people are getting screwed by the vaccine, but a majority of the cases are positive and the research is growing. I think it's time to put in to lay down the cards, family. To fold a little bit and say, okay, I was skeptical at first, but let's head down to our Walgreens and just get a shot in the arm, okay? I really do. Again, the skepticism was fair at first, but I think we're getting past that point, guys. It's free. It's free. Now, again, ease of access. I'm not sure what it's like for you guys in your area. I've been offered free vaccines in my area, so I am personally using that as an example that there are really no excuses not to dive in. But for people that are uncertain, guys, I am the king. I am the king of slamming news articles and online media, of finding the cringiest clickbait titles and so on and so forth. I'm almost certain that my computer or my AdSense even targets me with these because they know I talk about them on the podcast, so they just feed me a bunch of BS. And despite my constant scrolling and combing through news media, online media, I rarely ever find negatives about the vaccines today. All right. And I think this holds extreme weight because that news article would get a lot of clicks. And you know as well as I do, something we've discovered over the last 52 weeks or so is that these fools will do anything for a click. Okay. My point here is there's not a lot of negatives hanging around this anymore. The uncertainty is beginning to clear up, and I think the excuses are as well. So that's my take. Let's put it out there. Vaccines, they're free. Get them. We've been taking vaccines our entire life. If you want to wait a little bit, live your life. Okay, I'm not going to reprimand anybody that doesn't want to dive in still at this moment, but I'm saying we're running out of time. Okay, sooner or later, you're going to have to fucking throw in the towel, family, and just get that vaccine, get that needle injected into your arm because why not, guys? Why not? Again, I see so many news articles about COVID. And obviously, there might be some influence by major news outlets to push positive articles and not negative ones. You can make the argument for this, but again, negative articles get a lot of clicks. Scary articles get a lot of clicks, and very rarely do I see negative outcomes coming from people who vaccinated. More often than not, I'm seeing negative articles about people who didn't, people that regret not getting it, so on and so forth. I mean, this conversation's already sucking the life out of me, guys. But we'll end it there. It's free. Research is growing in the background. Get it done, family. Like, do it for other humans. If you're not doing it for yourself, do it for other humans. Okay? Okay. I have to say, something that has been growing in my mind recently, and I have briefly talked about in the past, is my problem with people who worship other humans. Okay, people who worship other humans are strange to me, and this is a very convoluted topic. But as I'm scrolling through the news articles yesterday and today, and we constantly bring up these topics of what celebrities are wearing and the fact that people are writing articles about Kim Kardashian wearing a short skirt. Like, this is just so strange to me. And I constantly slam these articles and the writers of these articles on the pod. But I want to look at the actual bigger picture here. this idea that some humans, some of us, just put other humans on pedestals and worship them in a very odd way. Now, let me be clear here. I understand this when you are a kid, right? As a kid, having an idol, looking at a superhero in a movie and idolizing the actor, or an athlete, and you want to get their signature because you want to grow up to be like them. Heck yeah, dude. Do your thing. Now, but this becomes really scary as we get older. The idea that humans worship other humans as adults. Like we have people in their 20s idolizing other humans is so strange for me. And it gets more and more strange every damn year. Now, when I say worship, I mean things like, but not exclusive to, hanging up pictures of someone around your room. That girl that constantly talks about that male celebrity has posters in their room and is constantly tagging them in social media posts and talking about how they want them. And I think these types of behaviors are huge red flags for adults. And I don't think it's for the reason you think. I think this type of behavior, an adult worshiping other adults, putting other adults on a different plane as you, speaks volumes about an individual's self-worth and or perception of themselves. These are the types of people, to be clear, right? Just to paint this mental picture a little better. I'm talking about the type of people who freeze up when they talk to celebrities, the type of people that have actors sign their babies. In my opinion, the problem with these people is that they have placed themselves on a completely separate plane than these seemingly more important humans or celebrities. And I truly believe, and here's the kicker, I truly believe that these type of people are really setting themselves up for failure and averageness in life. I really do believe it. I think if you are worshiping another human, if you look at another human in awe, like, oh my God, look who it is. It's MGK. Oh my God. If you are one of those type of people, I feel like your ambitions for your life and your perception of what you can achieve is so like sad and low. Right? Because if you believed you could achieve what other people are doing, right? If you looked at celebrities and said, you know, I can do that. They're just a normal human. I'm just a normal human. Then this like worshipness, this putting people on a pedestal removes itself. And I hope this makes sense. It's very esoteric and it's relatively hard for me to describe. But again, this red flag is this idea that you are almost putting someone on such a high pedestal that it is impossible for you to picture yourself achieving what they have. Right? When I see famous people, in Scottsdale, I saw a lot of these people. I saw a lot of this type of interaction where people were like, oh my God, sign my baby. It's like, okay. Now, I realize being a fan of someone. But at a certain point, shouldn't we all realize that is just another human? That is just another human that got good at their craft and became popular because of it? Are you not capable of becoming good at your craft and getting to that level? Maybe catching a little luck on the way? I just think it's a bad sign. I just think it speaks so hugely to the type of person you are, to the way you think about yourselves. And am I wrong here? And I'm open to discussion here, and I might be a little blind. I might be a little, judgmental, and I'm totally open to other people's perspectives here. But generally, I don't want to be associated with someone who idolizes other humans to this level. I think it's sad. I think the best way to put it is it's just sad. Okay, your inability, like that type of, I think this is the problem. I think this is where you need to check yourself. Say one of your friends interacts with someone who's relatively well known. Okay, and you say, what was it like? Oh my God. Like, what was he like? What did he look like? Holy, like if you are in a position where you're asking questions like that, I think you need to check and reevaluate yourself. This idea that some people hold this much value, we are all humans. Okay? We are all humans. We all have self-doubts. We all are uncertain. We all have really shitty days. Okay? Some of us just got maybe a little lucky with getting in the right social network or working really hard to become the best at our craft. We are all in the same pool though. Okay? I just think it's really important that we don't separate ourselves from certain individuals because of certain situations in their life. I don't agree with it at all, and it's one of the most frustrating things to be around. And I don't know if this is a unique perspective of mine. I don't know why I think like this, but for example, I'll give you a real world run-in I had with this situation. I worked at a restaurant called The Mission in Scottsdale. Now, if you guys are unaware, Scottsdale is a pretty uppity place, a very rich place in Arizona, kind of like the Hollywood of Phoenix, the second Hollywood. And then we had a lot of professional players that lived in the area that would come to the restaurant. And the reaction that I saw in the restaurant workers when these people would walk into the building would bother the hell out of me. Larry Fitzgerald, a very well-known football player, would come in and people would literally freeze their lives. Where is he? Oh, he's right over there. He's sitting at that table, pointing. Like, this behavior is so weird to me. It was so bad. And I truly mean this, guys. I was so uncomfortable that I ended up leaving work early. And not early, but I ended up rushing out of the building because I didn't want to be around it. It just made me uncomfortable. It was so strange. And again, this is okay for younger individuals. And there were some young girls working at the Mission at that time, and that's completely okay. I understand this. Okay, they could be heroes, idols, whatever. But as we get to older ages, I think my problem here is I just have a difficulty relating to any humans that don't have big aspirations, that don't think large about the potential of their lives and their futures. And I think it's really sad to see. I think that's my biggest problem here, is it's really sad for me to see because it's a big driver of what gets me excited in my life. The potential to grow, the potential to be successful, to have a following. And when people idolize and start like almost embarrassing themselves by the degree to which they worship other humans, I look at these individuals as people who have given up. And to me, that's very scary. And I think that's the problem. Life, guys. Life has been good. I hope everyone's doing well. Things have been very scattered recently, but the business is going well. And I'm about to make a flip to start working more. I need to step things up. I'm in a bit of a lull in life right now. Life is good. I can't complain. When we've really beat this horse past death. Yes, we're not going to talk about this much anymore. I'm in a really good spot. I'm going to start upping my hours this next week because right now there's not a lot of focus on other than money accumulation. Yep, I know that sounds weird, might be shallow, but it's the truth. I'm not really interested in going out. I'm not really interested in chasing women at bars. What I'm interested in doing right now is being being patient, accumulating content on the internet through the podcast, YouTube, and accumulating money. And I was sitting in my chair yesterday with a lot of free time on my hands, asking myself, why the hell am I not working more? What else am I doing? Leisure, relaxing. I'm essentially just losing money a lot of the time because free time without money is, well, it's useless. Okay. And while we have money, I'm not going to spend it. I might as well have nothing. So we're going to up the working hours. We're going to pick up some new clients this Tuesday and really put our put our nose to the grindstone. That's not a phrase. It's something like that. We're gonna get our hands dirty. We're gonna go a little further in and start really buckling down to accumulate some cash in the next couple years, and see what happens on the way, guys. See what happens on the way. I need to start working harder. I need to be coming home tired and exhausted, and I don't have a lot to do right now. I'm spending way too much time on Hinge, mindlessly scrolling. I will note to you guys, first off, Hinge is the greatest dating app, and we've been saying this for literally years. But there's something pretty scummy about Hinge. And that is the standout section. Now, let me tell you what the standout section is. It reads, outstanding prompts from people most your type. Refresh daily. Now, standouts are an interesting aspect of Hinge because it's essentially how they make money. How do they make money from it? Because there's roses. Now, standouts are pretty much the hottest chicks on the app. They get the most attention. They get the most likes, and the Hinge algorithms read them, and they pretty much all put them onto one page for you and say, you know what? You can like them. You can send them a rose and talk to them, but you only have one rose a week. So you have to buy more. And it's essentially just taking the chicks that get the most interaction on Hinge, putting them onto one page, and making a bunch of monkey-like dudes pay to get a chance to talk to them. And it's scummy. Again, I'm not going to hate on the app too much because, well, they do a lot of things right. They do a lot of things right. But this standout section is such a bait, and you got to stay off. Or you're going to get FOMO. You're going to end up buying money because you never know, right? It's too much. So that's been taking a bunch of my time. I've been getting baited by Hinge for standouts. I've been getting crazy messages on the app, trying to keep myself busy, trying to keep the idea of exploring relationships and run-ins and meet-ins. But again, free time without money is pointless, and money without free time is also useless. So I read that on an Instagram post earlier this week, so that was like pretty much regurgitated. And was it useful in that moment? I don't know. My point is, I need to fill up my time more. And make better use of it. One thing that's very interesting about Austin compared to other places I've lived, Nebraska, in Arizona, in relation to my career and what I do, is that people are so extremely competitive around here. And when I say competitive, I mean in relation to sports. I had a family reach out to me and ask if I could train their 6-year-old. 6 years old. Okay? I am a strength and conditioning coach, qualified to work with collegiate athletes and professional athletes. And I'm a nutritionist because of my master's in exercise and nutrition. Now, I'm not saying this to toot my own horn here. I'm saying this to really drive home how serious some of these families are about having their kids be successful. And it's crazy to me how close to the line we can get to unhealthy family interactions. Working with some kids that their father has them grinding every single day for 3 to 4 hours. And they come into the sessions with me dead tired. They come in exhausted. It is crazy to me. Something I have not seen in other locations and other places I've lived because the competition hasn't been there. And don't get me wrong, sports are valuable to the Nebraskans. But it's almost as if families here just have so much more at stake. Now, don't get me wrong. I think there's a beautiful balance here. And I personally wish that I would have had someone like me, a personal trainer, a sports performance specialist when I was a young athlete. It could have helped me out greatly. The problem is there's a fine line here. There's a fine line here between giving your kid access to the proper training to allow them to be successful, and then living through your kid, forcing them to train to be the athlete you never were. And a lot of the times it's hard to decipher which is which. It's hard to decipher which is which, and sometimes you just can't help but question what's going on or your involvement in something when you have kids coming into sessions that are just drained, that are struggling, that are sore. It's the world of sports, especially in this area, is king, is absolutely king. And you can see it by like the place I work, the Crossover is just a hub for sports, a gigantic building that literally everything in it revolves around training or skating or just getting better at some kind of competitive endeavor. It is truly the young athlete competition center of the world from what I've seen. It's a very family-oriented area. There's not a lot of young adults from what I've seen compared to other locations. And these families, the only thing they care about is their kid being a badass in whatever sport they play. So power to them. Power to them, guys. Power to them. I was going to bring up, let me see if I can pull this up. I was going to bring up another Yahoo News article because you guys, at this point, we have to. We absolutely have to. The shitty news article of the week goes to Yahoo Sports once again. Let's see if we can find it real quick. How the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is using Jen Shang's legal woes to craft irresistible TV. Yahoo Entertainment. Okay, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I do not want to give the award to them. Shitty news article of the week is still up for grabs. That's a bad one. Apparently, Allison Payne died at 57. I respect that. Kudos to you, Yahoo. Give people the shine they need. Here we go. Yahoo Lifestyle, 22 hours ago. Maxwell brings shimmer, shine, and smiles to New York Fashion Week. We'll give it to them. I should actually start finding the writers of these news articles. The actual authors themselves. Let's take a look here. This is probably really dangerous. This is probably not very good. Let's scroll to the bottom real quick and see. Is this defamation? Can I get a lawsuit against me for doing this? We'll look at it in the future. We'll absolutely look at it in the future. And start giving these guys the praise they deserve for writing some questionable news articles at best. Anything else, guys? Things are good. But the podcast today was all over the place. And I've just been all over the place. I don't know what's next. Nothing big has really happened recently. Again, we're in a lull. We're in a floaty time. And life is just, Life is just on. We cannot complain. My biggest problem right now, and my biggest battle is employing patience. I'm constantly seeing content on the internet and influencers and life coaches talk about how, when you get to 31, it seems so old right now. But when you get there, you'll realize how much time left you truly have. And I truly try to absorb this because I see the value in it. And I constantly want to employ this idea of patience. If we stay on track, what happens when, who knows what will happen when we have 500 IP Monkeys episodes? Who knows where my career will be at or where Klein Sports Performance will be in 5 years? We started early, and that's great. But again, the short-term monkey in me, okay, the instant gratification monkey that drives us and poisons us all, is always wants a little extra in the moment. And I'm fairly certain, and I think about it regularly, that I'll look back at this time of my life and say, we did good with what we had. Good job. I'm proud of the work we put in and the chances we took. But right now, it's hard to see that, right? Day to day. It's hard to see that on a Saturday when we're lonely as shit, trying to find something to do in our apartment. Again, it's not negative. It's not negative. It's just something I'm trying to navigate at the moment. Something I'm trying to navigate at the moment. Trying to find excitement in certain things, hobbies, and activities. You know? So we battle through. Weird episode this week, but when are they not weird? I mean, at this point, these days are just like me overthinking shit in my apartment for 7 days and coming back onto the pod to share it all with you guys. It's whatever. We continue onward. We push forward. If you guys are doing well, enjoy it. If you guys are struggling, battle through. Life's a roller coaster. You guys know the deal. Episode number 90, guys. 10 away from 100. We'll do something celebratory at that moment. I was thinking about getting a 2D animator to make a little intro for the pod, but who knows? That shiz can get expensive. All right. Alrighty. That's it for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. This is Hunter Klein. You'll hear from me next week. Peace.